Mark, hello, this is KT0 and my return shall be there after a very long time. I am here, finally, to bring you this game, which by the looks of it is going to be a Empire vs Allies game on Infinity Isle. Introducing our players. On the right side of the map is going to be our Empire player for the day. In the stylish purple is RsImperor, who I have been keeping a lookout for as of late. And on the left side of the map is somewhat of a rising star of an Allies player going by the name of WalftheWolf.
Ready, sir. Where's the trouble?
WalftheWolf. Am I doing it correctly? WalftheWolf, indeed. Who has opened with a 1 barracks into a 1 refinery opening as well. Which I would think. Yeah, 1 refinery opening as well. Fairly standard openings by both of these players. And yeah. The Empire player is looking to establish a 3rd refinery at the waterside expansion as well, looking to gain a standard economic upper hand in the early game against the Allies player. Now, I feel like I owe you somewhat of an explanation as of why I have not been putting out videos for a very long time. That is simply due to the fact that I have bought a new laptop. And why is that? Well, my audio interface card that I've been using to record my my voice has not been working well with my new laptop. Let's just put it at that. There has been some very weird latency issues with the audio recordings, and as a result, audio attempts of casting games has been unsuccessful. And I've been trying to frantically look out for solutions for that, and not having much success, let's just say. And how exactly did I resolve that in this case? Well, I resorted to go back to my old laptop and use that to record the audios, while I use my new laptop to record the videos as well. Yes, as you might be able to see, the videos quality at the frame rate of this recording has been significantly better than that of the past. That's simply due to the fact that my new laptop is significantly more powerful than my last one. So yeah, that is that. And now the infantry force of the Allies player is moving in to try to put up a bit of pressure to his opponent's RsImperor, and I would say that the Empire player has been dealing with the pressure from the Allies players fairly well, simply because, well, he hasn't lost any sort of ore collector yet, and he's just trading army for army, which is quite a good trade at any situation, I would say. But the problem with the air force of the Allies player is still far superior than that of yours, so you have to muster up a large enough Tengu count in order to counter that as a Empire player. Indeed, that air force, the mighty air force of the Allies player, is now patrolling the center of the map to try to establish a very firm air control to repel any harassment attempt by the Empire player. Oh, like that. The 4 Tengus trying to sneak in to take out the ore collectors and such, but is going to be repelled by the smartly positioned air force of the Allies player. Indeed, the Allies player has taken over the civilian structure here, so this ore derrick is basically dead. Unless, of course, the Empire player use 1 Imperial warriors shouting Banzai to take out the peacekeeper there inside. Yeah, of course. And I don't know what that was. There's been some ringy sound in my windows, but no matter, let's go back to the game. A choice of a naval yard by the Allies player by the looks of it, recognizing the fact that the waterside expansion of the Empire player is fairly hard to defend without the ability to build a wall, so he's going to be moving in an ACV to try to take out the ore collector with his torpedoes. But landing all of his Tengus is the Empire player trying to take out the ACV, but oh no, that's the reason why you don't want to land all your Tengus at the same time. That's because the Allies player, which is moving with his air force, which is very mobile by the way. They can hardly be out of position at any point in the game to perform an air lockdown and take out the Tengus with the Vindicators there. And indeed, the Empire player is now unpowered, so his static defense is now inoperable, leaving his refinery vulnerable for a very short amount of time. But the Allies player wasn't really abusing that window here, so my explanation has been completely wasted. But no matter, you know what they say, If you don't succeed, try again. That is exactly what the Allies player is trying to do now. And with twice the army value as well. Previously it was 1 ACV, now it's 2 ACVs. Yes. And what is the response from the Empire player? Well, he has to do a static defense defender VX to repel that, but at the cost of his 3 tangoos, as well as their attempts of defending the refinery being thwarted by the Vindicated bombing run there. So even though the ore collector of the Empire player remained alive, the Allies player still gained a fairly good trader, and now he has a Assault Destroyer. Where did he sneak that out anyway? Assault Destroyer to move in to do some harassments as he's feeling the pressure. Very nice splits by the Allies player here, preventing the infantry being crushed. I don't think a single infantry was crushed in that exchange here, but well, now there is, but that's far less than how I would have lost. So very nicely played by the Allies player here. And while this engagement is happening, the harassment of the Assault Destroyers is continuing in the Empire player space, taking out 1 ore collector, and I don't think this second collector can escape as well, simply due to the fact that the main army is now at the front of the Allies player, trying to take out this barracks here to prevent any form of reinforcement. But the defender VXs are now going to be taken out by the Vindicators there while being shrunken. How unpleasant. And now the entire force of the Empire player is down to 1 VX, which is not enough to repel 2 Vindicators, by the way. And indeed the crowd captors will be moving in to freeze those tanks, and the infantries will be exposed to any sort of fire. But whoa, very nicely played by the Empire player, nearly taking out the MCV of the Allies player there. But the MCV did manage to escape. Very clever use of the shrinking beam from the cryocopter as well. And yeah, indeed, the second ore collector has been taken out by the Assault Destroyer there, so the Empire player has no choice but to move in with his slow infantry to try to take out one of the prospectors, trying to make the exchange even, but doing so unsuccessfully. So now, well, what's the situation looking like? The Empire player is sitting on 2 refineries at the moment, while the Allies player is sitting on 3, so the economic upper hand is firmly in the hands of the Allies player at the moment. But the Assault Destroyer will pay for his crime of disrupting the Imperial mining operations. Yes, indeed, being destroyed by the VXs there. But 1 VX is paying his life for the death of the Assault Destroyer as well. So very nicely played by the Allies player as well. And now we're going to be seeing, oh, a dolphin, very cute dolphin, but very deadly in the water here, recognizing the fact that there isn't really much in the water to repel a dolphin army from the Allies player. And now the dolphin's moving in, it's swimming. Yes, yeah, as you can see, it does a lot of damage, although it doesn't really have a lot of armor to excuse me, I choked on myself a little bit. Armor to protect itself with, but it does have a lot of firepower there. And indeed, the Empire player, now losing one of his crucial refineries, is now going to be forced to move in to make the exchange even as well. Then a very nice micro by the Allies player, preventing his general ranked peacekeeper from dying via the use of the riot shield there. And the infantry push from the Empire player is now going to be repelled. And with his 4th refinery that the Empire player is now moved, sitting on 3 refineries, which is never a good situation if you ask me, to be against a Allies player, since the Allies player has now the freedom to produce units as well, whereas you have to rebuild your ore collectors to try to get your economy back on track. But looking at this army, I'm actually not so sure if the Allies player can win the fight here, but if he can buy himself enough time to erect up a large enough mechanized army, namely the Guardian tank, to support his infantry force and his air force as well, this army from the Empire player will be completely crushed, I would think. Yeah, it mainly consists of VXs and only 1 tsunami tanks and not a lot of infantry as well. So I seriously don't know how Empire player can win now, because his army is so small and he only has 3 refineries as well, same as that of his opponents, and his opponents is now rushing up a large count of Guardian tanks, which is inherently more combat efficient than the Tsunami tanks. So I think the only hope for the Empire player here is trying to get up as many units as possible and try to end the game straight away, or otherwise, if you wait for the Allies player to have a second air base to perform the support and harassment at the same time, then you're basically dead. Wait, what? Oh, the cryo beam from space has taken out the refinery from the Empire player here, so the Empire player is now forced to commence his push here, which is very unfavorable, I would say, because of the presence of 2 multi-cannon turrets here and a large count of Guardian tanks as well, and the main force of his army is basically dead. He's forced to GG. Good game. A very solid game by WalftheWolf there. At no point of the game was the pressure on his side. He's always been the one who puts on the pressure onto his opponent, so very solid game by the Allies player. And this has been KT0 casting the Ladder War May semi-final. 2 players, RsImperor and WalftheWolf. Also, I have my health bar turned on, yes, by someone who I believe was actually WalftheWolf himself. Last night reminded me of putting up the health bar as well, so big thanks to him. Well, I have nothing else to say, so I will see you next time.